Alrighty, welcome to Nested Loops. This is session 3. Should be chapters 5, 6, and 7. And Alexis will be reading, so I will turn it to her.
Alrighty, hope you all read the chapters. By the way, I'm only reading up to the required chapters. Like, I haven't finished the whole book at all. It would probably take me just like another hour. But yeah, I will present my slides. Let me just screen share. Can everyone hear me? Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Alright, can you guys see what I'm presenting?
Ooh, pretty slides. Ooh.
Not that pretty, I just used a Google Slides template. Alright, so we're starting off with chapter 5, Addiction UX. Alright, so this chapter starts off by visually showing like an example web page. And before, it used to be, relatively ad-free, maybe like 3 or 4 here and there. And then on the right side, you'll see a 3.0 version that is literally littered with ads. Like, I would say over 50% of the page is ads. So yeah, and it mentioned businesses are willing to provide free content and web services because of ad revenue versus your traditional pay for, a product. Yeah, so it's just giving you that visual. And then it goes into some stats about the big tech companies and where they're getting their revenue. And this shouldn't come as a surprise, really. But it is a really big percentage for some of these companies. And these stats are from like early 2010s. So it might have changed. I don't know if any of these have increased or decreased, but Facebook 84%, Twitter 90%. And you can transfer Yahoo.
Scott mute. Hold on, I gotta mute because Scott can't mute.
You guys good?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, majority of revenue coming from ads. Like, I guess traditional media is the same too, right? Like magazines, like, sell a lot of ad space, and that's how they get money. All right, addiction. So companies want to get people addicted to their interface, like almost like people get addicted to TV. And then the guy, one of the guys who had a hand in making pop-up ads, even said that after the original sin of the web, he made a public apology.
Scott, you're like
and he regrets it. So companies value, their revenue, their money over UI elegance, UI UX. Mobile versions of websites are always trying to get you to install the app, hoping that they can get more of your screen time. Like, whenever I click a Reddit link from Isaac, it tells me to install the app. Or this happens with any website. Permission to access your contact list. Yeah, so the whole sign-in with Facebook, like, I always tried not to use that, especially because I haven't used Facebook really since 2013. Yeah, I just think it just takes advantage of people's, to get to what they want to do. And without them having to think about, oh, is this going to affect my, privacy agenda. Solve users' problems is lower down on the list than getting people addicted. And okay, so right. So co-founders, it seems like, they had certain goals in mind that, like, these big companies, like, they kind of did the opposite of what the original founders wanted. Yeah, so less time in Google, get people to the thing they want. That was his wish. Now everyone spends time on Google through Gmail docs, even does Hangout. So, your time is money. When you give them your time, you give them money. So Facebook, this was interesting. I didn't notice. So there was a proposed redesign of Facebook that did exactly what the Google co-founder wanted, to get you what you want, in the least amount of time. And right, the personal people experience, but this was scrapped because Facebook lost screen time, and users were able to get what they want, and they can quickly leave. And which was a user experience win, but it was a loss of money because there was a loss of time spent on the interface. And metrics and words like monthly active user replace the importance of joy and happiness and bringing real value to users. Increasing time spent on the interface takes away from things you should be doing. So I kind of remember this redesign, like they went the opposite way to the proposed personalized newspaper experience. So that's why I think this was the year I picked this one. So, and then the author gets into what the designer's job should actually be, which is, like I mentioned, give people what they need quickly, make people smile, provide something that enhances your life. And the author says, it is time for a new course. All right.
So should we discuss chapter at a time?
Yeah. Yeah, let's discuss chapter by chapter.
All right. So it seems the problem is if you have a free product, then ads are the only way to get it. So you want more time for more eyes on more ads. Now, if you are a pay service, you pay me $10, $50, $100 a month, then we do what he asks, right? So the question to me, do we care as much if for the paying people?
Yeah, there's this whole doesn't Hulu have a pricing model that you pay more to not get the ads, right?
Mm-hmm.
They provided that option, at least have the option so that people can choose what they want to see. As soon as Facebook started cluttering up the feed and I can no longer see people's walls or stories directly, I was like, oh, this is crap. I don't want to look at this anymore.
I think for Hulu, it's the opposite. You want to get them, assuming either way, if they pay you, get them to their shows and get them off. Right? Because you don't actually want them to binge watch, because then you pay less Amazon costs to stream all that video. So, but, and for example, I think we're in the interesting position. I think we want to maximize our free eyes to get them to sign up. And then we want, ideally, if we could minimize the paid time, read your articles, get off, then in theory we pay less transfer costs, which actually probably negligible for us. But in general, if we had a giant scale.
Well, except that we want you to be engaging with our content. If you're a paying subscriber, we want you to be engaging with our content more than you're engaging with anything else financial in your life, whether it's, or any other institutional research provider. So the more you consume and the more time you spend on our stuff, the more engaged you are with us, and that means the more likely you're going to stay and pay for a longer period of time.
Okay.
And that probably outstrips the cost of, one of the costs that go into that margin calculation, which might be the Amazon bandwidth.
Sure. But back to, can you go back the slide you said do this, I guess the last slide for this chapter. Give people what they need quickly and make them smile, enhance their life seamlessly. So the question is, are we trying to addict? Sort of. But we also want to make them happy. I got to say, as someone who wasted a bunch of time on the internet before going shopping yesterday and then pushed everything back, I said, gosh, sometimes I wish I could not be as addicted to some of these things.
I think it's a little bit of both, right? You want to be, to the paying customer, you want them to get to the stuff they need quickly. And to the prospective customer, you want them to hang out a little longer so that they can see the value of everything else they're not getting. So they're very similar, but there's a various degree of not the thing, engagement that you want. So, and again, a paid product, it's a very different.
But that's true too. Like different users are looking for different things.
Right. So it's a different strategy for different type of businesses, right? So like
What's confusing to me about that is because that makes me think, okay, so on our webpage, are we trying to present content too much like a paid product, and so therefore you understand more about our product, and then to get the really good stuff, maybe you'll pay us. But what this says is that maybe on the free, I know we don't have an ad model, but on the free side, you want to delight them more, and on the paid side, you want to give them what they want. And I guess I don't quite understand how you use the free side to convert and then retain, if it's that different. I don't know. Maybe it's not really that different.
I mean, we played with various teaser models. And ultimately, I don't know, do we have good metrics on how any of it has worked relative? I mean, it seems the model that we know that works is these complementaries, which is the actual, when we made the free thing for a short time, which is not, it's not unique to us. A lot of people have like Netflix, 30 months, 30 days free, hope to addict you, same. And that's the only model they have. Sign up for the trial. You can't peruse the content. In fact, it's even hard for you to see what content they have on Netflix. They force you into the 30 days. Like I was trying to figure out before Endgame came out if I needed to sign up for a trial, if all the movies I wanted to see before Endgame were there, and it was really hard for me to figure out what Netflix actually had and didn't have. So they were kind of forcing my hand, which I didn't end up doing, to maybe sign up for the trial and hopefully keep me that way.
I think it's a risk-free trial that we provide, right?
Yeah.
The risk-free trial without a credit card or anything. That is a model that seems to be working for us, but that is already after the free content portion of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the pipeline is like the 3 levels.
Yeah.
And I think the very first one, the approach that we should follow is probably like the ad revenue approach for the free stuff. Even if we don't have ads, we will probably benefit. We will probably benefit from having a little more of the addiction design aspect. But I'm curious for the next chapter.
Yeah, okay. There's some interesting things about. We used to have ads, but they were for ourselves.
Yeah, we still have for ourselves.
But did that work? I think it goes back to metrics. Did that work? Because we don't do it now, and I don't know if that decision was based on, we had a 3.4% uptick in sales, so we kept it or we didn't.
Well, we have the billboard and the pop-up market brief. I don't know if there are other. Oh, we also have the like sometimes Rob puts in an ad for a certain product, like an image at the end of a Insights article.
Yeah, I just wondering
metric-wise. Those are all ads for ourselves.
Are we tracking these? Okay, we can move to the next one. I just wonder, are we tracking the right things? But I guess that would be our data ultimately is try them all and track it. Okay, next chapter.
Pretty much. Okay. Cool. Next chapter, distraction. All right. So the author used an interesting technique by sprinkling in examples of distractions in a different font. It took me actually a couple minutes to get what was going on. Like I thought my ebook was having some kind of typography error, but yeah, it was intentional. So some of these examples are the the ever popular Nigerian inheritance, email distraction, Twitter app notification, Facebook likes, event notifications, game level up, random articles, LinkedIn. And these are just some examples. Like it's not even going to cover everything. These are also just on-screen distractions. It doesn't even include real-world distractions. So yeah, I just thought it was an interesting visual way to represent it.
What's the purpose of the distractions? Or are you saying that's a bad thing?
Yeah, well, the author is saying it's a bad thing, and he's trying to make a point.
I mean, in the content, he made his text read kind of like. Actually, it was much more. It was an exaggerated version of, you know how you're reading ad, and sometimes it blends in. It's hard for you to see what the ad and the content is, especially when I read news on my phone. And so he kept inserting like the Nigerian thing in it, and it took me a while. I go, what the heck is going on? It's like, oh, he's.
It took me a couple minutes.
He is so violently injecting this thing to get you. See, you can barely understand the content I'm giving you because I'm feeding you all this other crap. So you're kind of hating it. I guess the goal was hating to read this chapter because it was so distracting.
I mean, I've seen I think some of the worst sites that just flood their page with ads of every layer, every level, every, you know, kind of what you showed earlier is like local news websites for local news stations. And it's like sometimes you don't know where to look. You don't know if the article you're reading continues because there's so many ads breaking through.
Yeah.
Am I done? I don't even know.
Yeah, a lot of ads try really hard to blend in and make it seem like they're a part of the actual content when they're not.
We talked about doing some of that.
All right. Yeah. That. So the actual stuff he was talking about, the Clifford Nass. So this guy conducted a study with university students, and the conclusion was nobody was successful at multitasking. Out of all the 200 plus students, like nobody was really getting things done using multitasking. So there were some people that were able to do 2 tasks, but there was no like real hard evidence. And the heaviest multitaskers were not good at filtering distractions. All right, so the conclusion for that is if we design interfaces for distraction / multitasking, it could spiral into poor, no focus thinking and a less able to cope group of people. So if your attention span is like super short and you want to, you always get distracted with Facebook and Twitter and whatever, you need your hit of dopamine, and then you're done in a few seconds. It's hard to train your brain to like focus on individual tasks for long periods of time. So I see, excuse me, I see that logic. And then he presented an example of there was a court case, Apple versus Samsung. The judge had to yell at people to get off their phones. Okay. So now it goes into talking about like physical dangers of distraction. So obviously using your phone while walking. Everyone's guilty of this. Like it's fine, but like, and I've almost ran into poles. But it's obviously not good. Running into objects or people. Multitasking while driving, distracted driving on the phone caused 10 deaths every day in 2013, and I'm guessing this probably increased. There are more devices out there than there was in 2013. And made a little note here. I don't know if anyone's seen Black Mirror season 3. Or what season is it now? Not 3. Anyway, the latest season. So there's a guy that kidnapped an employee of a tech firm in order to be able to talk to the CEO and just share his story about how his company, like his product, his app, caused him to like be a distracted driver and end up killing his fiance. So yes, distraction, not good. So there's another case. This Jason Humphrey carried a cell phone blocker on his commute to limit distracted driving near Tampa. I guess it was saving lives, but it could have also prevented lives being saved because it blocked emergency vehicles, and he got fined. So the point was, someone saw this was a big enough problem and tried to provide his own solution. His intentions were good, but he ended up paying for it. And the author says that there's a better way. That's the end of the chapter.
You said the point. Any discussion on this one? Distractions are bad. Well, if you don't put ads, then are you distracted? This seems... Well, because I guess the cell phone thought. I don't know. Internet addiction in general, multitasking is a general thing. I look at my kids who have to have at least 2 screens in front of them at all times, sometimes 3. It's just like, I don't get it. So, all right. So, the summary of this is: don't be distracting. Which, if you're using ad-based model for his texting, is bad. Is anything else bad? Are there non-ad-based UIs that are distracting? I'd say yes.
Like Instagram has a lot of ads now, and it sucks because they're so targeted to what you like. And I like seeing the ads because I like the product that they're advertising. So I'm like, okay, I'll go on this website, and I take screenshots of the things I like, but sometimes I buy, but rarely.
I'm thinking Office. Every few years they redesign it. And the 7 things I use, I can never find them. And then just when I finally figured out what the 7 things are, it's Office 2020 where they've moved somewhere else. And I see that as kind of a distraction. So back to his whole make me happy things. Just give me, or at least let me put the 7 buttons I want somewhere where I can find them. Actually, I'll say that with Slack. Before I figured out how to star people, your direct message conversations disappear.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be like Hip Chat, where those guys sit and they stay there, so that the 10 people on our team I always see. I don't have to go into Slack and then type their name in and get their window back. So before I figured out that I could star them. But I don't like the fact that the star is in one spot and my DMs are somewhere else. I just stop erasing the people I haven't talked to recently.
I have never starred anybody. Now I'm starring people right now.
I've solved a problem for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so I see that as a distraction. So I was just trying to tie it into maybe non-ad driven things. All right. Anything else?
Well, non-ad driven distractions. There's a lot of growl-like stuff. Growl can get overwhelming. When you get a lot of emails and you see it, I find the person very distracted, and some stuff sends growl notification, and I don't even know. I never set them up.
Yeah.
Why am I getting all of these notifications? Or for example, Slack send notification to the phone and to my watch, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I think this is partially a bug. Even when I turn off notification, I still get them.
It's a feature.
I still get something. I still get my wristwatch buzzing, vibrating or something, and it's so annoying.
Yeah, I gotta say, there's too much in my feed. I have an app on my phone, News Republic. I do read it a lot, but it slaps that up on top of my app. And when it does, I don't know the actual percentage, but it pisses me the crap out. I'm doing something else, and boom, hey, Boris Johnson is a bonehead. Go, no, go away. I'm doing something else. I hate that. Okay. All right. We're done with this. Next chapter?
Next chapter.
Chapter 7, Screen Insomnia.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys ever get this spam through Google, Gmail, Instant Message. Every once in a while,
I don't get that.
every once in a while, I get some spam messages.
Yeah.
The latest one, somebody figured out how to add calendar invites through the Google Messenger. Like, I don't even receive any message from the Google Messenger. It's just like calendar events just pop up in my
Yes.
calendar.
This weekend I had you won an iPhone from the Apple stores on our calendar, and because we have all these Echo shows around the house, everyone's going, look, you won an iPhone. It's on the calendar. It's got to be real.
Right. Crazy.
Yeah. Okay, continue.
Go, Alexis.
Okay. So, this chapter in the beginning talked about an artificial light study that was conducted. So blue light, and it was compared with breast cancer, like if there was any correlation. So the study found that women living in bright neighborhoods were 73% more likely to suffer from breast cancer. I didn't look further into the study, but, but I'm sure there are a bunch of other ones that say, blue light is generally harmful, not just like, breast cancer. And it goes into why though. It's because melatonin, we are naturally more alert when staring at interfaces, and it suppresses the melatonin, which obviously it helps you sleep. And apparently it also helps fight some forms of cancer. And we are hurting ourselves, maybe even killing ourselves long-term due to prolonged use of screen and exposure to blue light. So how do you fight blue light? It's just a little side note I did. Night shift mode changes your screen to yellow. I don't know how much that really helps. I don't know if there's any stats on that, but there have been like different things implemented to like help even a little bit with this. So keep your phone on low brightness, keeping your distance, and even better would be to reduce screen time. That was it. That was the chapter. So I'll go into my thoughts, I guess. So I was thinking these chapters help demonstrate, through examples, some reason why people should reduce screen time. So I've personally been interested in minimalism lately, and all these things, like these examples mentioned in the chapters, like kind of go along with those type of values, like make kids hardcore into minimalism. And like now I'm finally starting to see why. And I think this is something a lot of designers and creatives go through at some point, or at least, have a little phase and then like try to implement it as a lifestyle. And there are so many videos on how to reduce screen time. Ironically, I have to be on a screen to watch these videos of how to not be on the screen. But I never dig deeper into the science. So the breast cancer example is probably just one of many. I knew it was a good thing for your health, but I didn't know why, apart from reducing social media addiction, comparison mentality, and the blue light exposure, which everyone said was bad. So not using screens for prolonged periods appears to be good for both mental and physical health. Ironically, if you spend a lot of time checking your phone so you don't feel left out, you end up missing out on what's happening around you. And these chapters were about time and energy and demonstrating how we like showing examples like why we need to get our time and energy back from these addictive screens and UI.
Yes. Cool. Thank you for your thoughts. So let's go back to minimalism.
Yeah.
I think the key of making minimalism work is that you end up, if you can have, I'll make up a random. If you can only have 4 elements, and you have to pick the 4 essential ones. So what minimalism done right, sort of when I was complaining about Word, it's like, stop giving me 5,000 buttons. I use 6 features. Give me the 6 features. Find those, and of course that might vary per person. So minimalism done wrong is I got 4 features and none of them are the features I want.
And
Right.
also, like, none of them may work, so it's just,
Right.
yeah, like, there's only so much you can take away, like, on that note. So, yeah, and it also depends on your audience. Yeah, it can be different. There's different, like, user groups. It's complicated. Like, these are, like, I guess, more general examples and, like, ideologies, I guess. But yeah, that it's going to be, like, actually applying these things is going to be different for, like, every company.
All right, so I'm not going to forward any other discussion.
Well, on the screen, on the reducing blue light, I use these special glasses that I'm wearing right now, and I like using them with the night shift mode. It's like double night shift.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Your glasses are cut off. If you put 2 eyeballs on your chin, you could be the Senor Wench's kind of face upside
Just
down.
my big screen's blocking my little screen. There you go. So I have
Yes.
these
So
glasses.
so when you have those, because it's in the news lately, once upon a time in Hollywood, there's a little Bruce Lee cameo,
Oh yeah.
and which apparently is getting bad press because Tarantino paints him as an arrogant blowhard, which has made a lot of people angry. But Bruce Lee had those big shaded like yours but bigger glasses that he wore, which actually was the wrong time for that time period. But you put that, and I always think, oh yeah, Bruce Lee and his big.
I do like the Asics. I know Bruce Lee was a big fan of the Asics. I don't know if I'm channeling my Bruce Lee like unconsciously. So I'll just start like screaming every time I like.
So I didn't realize your Bruce Lee glasses were your blue light glasses.
Nice. Yeah, but I totally recommend these because before my eyes were hurting because I was staring at that screen so often.
That's a
These
good.
like totally help out.
I'll need clip-ons.
Yeah, clip-ons. Yeah, because they're just pretty much just like film.
Right.
On top of plastic.
For those of us who still wear glasses.
Yeah, the master at the clip-on right now is Jeff. He has the little clip-on sunglasses that he's just like, holds over his regular glasses.
Okay, well, there's no other discussion. Who shall do next? I'm paging forward, and it looks like chapter 8-ish is kind of long. Is that true? No, 9 was long. One of these is long, but sometimes he puts filler. Yeah, it's like 3 pages of this repeated thing. Maybe it's not as long as that. 8 is short. 1, 2, 3, 4. 9 is a bunch of repeated stuff for effect. Also short. Yeah, I would still go with 8, 9, and 10. Do you have any volunteers before we volunteer someone? Though I gotta say, I liked Alexa's presentation. I wish she'd do more of them.
I'm good. I'll take it.
Oh, okay.
And
All right, Diego. Diego's got to up his slide food.
That's right, slide food.
All right, awesome.
I'm gonna be so sly with my slide food.
Make sure you read the ebook on the screen.
Yeah.
What?
Make sure you read the ebook on the screen.
I do have it on the screen.
I know.
Okay, you with it. All right, cool. Well, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.